Good morning and welcome to our online Sunday services at First Unitarian Church of St. Louis. Hello, my name is Claire Weitzelbaum, she, her, hers, and I am glad to see you all here this morning. Especially want to welcome any visitors or newcomers. If you are new to our congregation, please fill out a newcomer form at the link that will be in the chat window shortly. In the chat, you can also find a few other useful links, including today's order of service, our YouTube channel where service recordings are posted, and information about our summer religious education program for children and youth, which began this morning and just ended about 2 minutes ago, which is why I look like this and why I'm on my phone at the moment, because of course my laptop decided not to connect to the internet from the church this morning. Moving on. Automated closed captioning is also available for those who would find it helpful. It can be accessed by clicking on the live transcript button at the bottom of your screen and then show subtitle. Today we have a newcomer chat immediately after the service, followed by a forum on hunger in St. Louis, hosted by the Social Responsibility Committee at 11:15. We hope you will stay for one or both of those. And now, since one of the important aspects of worship is being present in community, we invite you to continue this moment of welcome by switching to gallery view and turning on your webcams to wave to each other. We're keeping everyone muted, but feel free to type your greetings in the chat. It's so good to see you all. Feel free to make a funny face as well, if you wish, in the spirit of our humor service. And when you're done with that, please turn off your webcams again and feel free to return to speaker view. Welcome to this religious community where we affirm the dignity and freedom of all who enter. Here we seek to live together in relationship and respect, so that we may embrace and celebrate our differences. Our religious values invite us to a shared journey of truth and meaning. Sincerity and connection guide our religious community and call us into deeper association with ourselves and our world. Welcome. We are glad that you are part of our community this morning. Now, since our theme today is humor of the UU variety in particular, please enjoy this unique prelude that was recorded during the UU General Assembly in 2018. You may recognize a few familiar faces.
What a great way to begin. Good morning. I am the Reverend Kim Mason, she, her, hers, and I serve this congregation as minister. It is good to be with you this morning. Our theme of the month for June is play. And what a better way to embrace the theme of play than with some humor. It's been a long, hard year, so today we honor making it this far by giving ourselves a chance to laugh. Our service elements this morning are infused with humor, mostly UU humor aimed at ourselves, and I hope that you'll be able to laugh along. Our opening words come from the UU congregation of Sangerville and Dover-Foxcroft. Laughter is an affirmation of our humanness, a face-saving way to express our anxieties, fears, and other hidden emotion. It breaks the ice, builds trust, and draws us together into a common state of well-being. Laughter is called inner jogging. A robust laugh gives the muscles of the face, shoulder, diaphragm, and abdomen a good workout, and sometimes even the arms and legs. Heart rate and blood pressure temporarily rise, breathing becomes faster and deeper, and oxygen surges throughout the bloodstream. We become alive. So this morning, friends, come, let us laugh together. We begin with our hymn of the month, number 311, Let It Be a Dance.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with singing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born in the old Messiah. A time for joy and time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star without at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong and nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And run we go again. Let it be a dance.
We light our chalice this morning with these words, which have circulated email listservs and UU humor websites for so long that no one is quite sure of their origin. You may be a Unitarian Universalist if you think socks are too formal for a summer service. Your Christmas tree has 7 symbols on its top, and unleavened bread is part of your Easter brunch. You think the Holy Trinity is reduce, reuse, recycle. You know at least 2 people who are upset that trees had to die for your church to be built. you study the 10 suggestions instead of the 10 commandments. You have trouble singing hymns because you're always reading ahead to see if you agree with the words. You find yourself lighting a chalice before brushing your teeth. And finally, you may be a Unitarian Universalist if you are not even sure whether you are a Unitarian Universalist. That removes all doubt.
People of all ages experience the capacity of laughter and playfulness to promote emotional and physical well-being. And while learning a spiritual tool for shifting the state of their consciousness and nurturing positive energy, let's explore how laughter and playfulness might be a part of the web of life.
We need to get back to the natural built-in mechanisms that we have for self-preservation and health, which laughter is one of them.
Laughter yoga is a way for people to use laughter without telling jokes and being able to get the laughter to help them feel better. The interesting thing is that it helps ease pain. It can ease depression. It's a way to move and get into your inner child. And it's a lot of fun. And adults don't remember necessarily how to have fun.
The bottom line of our research is that laughter not only makes us feel good, but it has a direct effect on our blood vessels. And our blood vessels control the likelihood of us developing a heart attack or a stroke. So if we keep the blood vessels healthy, then we're going to be healthy. You could burn up to 40 calories through 5 to 10 minutes of laughter. But equally important is that the blood vessel opening that we see is the same as going jogging, or even taking one of our cholesterol medications known as statins. You get the same effect in terms of opening up your blood vessels as you do with a good, deep belly laugh. Laughing on a regular basis is not only good for our soul, but also great for our heart.
That looked like so much fun. And so now I am going to invite us to try some laughter yoga right here at our computers. We are going to laugh even if there isn't anything funny. It might feel a little strange at first, but soon we'll be laughing for real. Laughter yoga is good for your body, and even pretending to laugh is good for you. I'm going to lead us in a few laughter yoga exercises. Just follow along and copy what I am doing. Settle into your chair so you are grounded on your sits bones. Put both feet on the floor and stretch your spine upright as though a string is pulling you. Let your hand rest on your belly. Close your eyes for a moment and notice how your body feels. Are you stressed? Are you worried? Maybe you are calm. Or are you excited? Open your eyes and take a deep breath so that the breath goes all the way down to your belly. And you can feel your belly rise and fall underneath your hands. When you exhale, begin with a laugh. Now, I want you to take a moment, turn all of your cameras on and go into gallery view. I'm going to invite you to unmute your microphones so that we can all laugh together. I will start with haha and then just follow along. Okay. Now, take a deep breath. Pay attention to your breathing and notice how your body feels. I see myself smiling. It was so wonderful to hear everybody laughing. How did that feel? Did you laugh for real?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I hope laughter taught you that you have this resource at your disposal. Anytime you need a laugh, laughter yoga is there for you. Now I invite you to mute your microphones again, turn off your cameras, and feel free to return to speaker view. We've had a chance to warm up our laughter muscles. And I invite you to laugh along with our fabulous UU musicians and choir members here with a parody hymn, Wake Now, Dear Partner, set to the tune of Wake Now, My Senses.
Wake now, dear partner, you're snoring too loud. The person in front of us just turned around. The minister's staring, I'm turning bright red. But you won't wake up to the world you are dead. Your head has rolled back, you're starting to drool. If I poked your ribs, would that just be too cruel? You stir and you straighten, and then try to fake that throughout the sermon you've been wide awake.
Well, if that's not an admonishment for better sermons, I don't know what is. Friends, we need humor in our life. in the good times and the tough times. Humor is one of the ways that we build resilience. Another way is by sharing our joys and concerns with one another. This week, we celebrate with Sarah Dashner and Steve Miller, who recently celebrated their 36th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. This week, we also send healing thoughts and prayers to John Hunt, who is home doing well and recuperating after being hit by a car while riding his bike. And we send well wishes for a smooth recovery to Sue Fazio, who had major foot surgery on Friday. As we pause in a moment of quiet reflection, I invite you to type any sorrows or concerns you are experiencing into the group chat box. Worried for a friend in the hospital with a mental health issue. Concerned for a sweetheart struggling with nighttime anxiety and insomnia. Worried about more senseless gun violence and saddened by those actions. Sad for a relative whose marriage has become complicated. Concerned for the hungry in St. Louis. We hold these sorrows with tenderness and compassion. May they be lighter because they are shared. As a community, we also share our joys with one another. I invite you to type any joys you wish to share into the group chat box. Joy at being reunited with family with a pool party and too much food. Joy at the lyrics of the choir's background music. Joy at laughing on my 72nd birthday, not my birthday, our writer's birthday. Grateful and joyful for an upcoming trip. A joy of a new job and baby kittens. Appreciation for the breeze from the north. And Lisa Ross and Chuck Eby celebrated their 33rd wedding anniversary this last Sunday. A glorious walk this morning. Joy at being fully oneself, not doing anything other than being oneself or being anywhere else. Many happy anniversaries for our celebrating couples. We hold these joys with gladness and celebration. May they be magnified because they are shared. With many joys and sorrows remaining unspoken in our hearts and minds, I invite you into a moment of prayer. Spirit of life and love, holy within and among us, we gather today to celebrate laughter. In times of trouble and anxiety, we need humor to carry us through. In times of worry and difficulty, laughter lifts our spirits. We have spent a year gathered online, struggling together through the pandemic. As we witness the slow end to restrictions and fear, may our time together renew our connections. May the stories we share refresh our hope. May the songs we sing lift our hearts. May the words we speak enliven us. May the sound of laughter, the experience of joy, remind us all what brings us together and keeps us gathered here. May the appreciation of the silly and the humorous give us strength for the ways we continue to struggle and mourn, and may it restore us in faith. Amen, and blessed be.
Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón cántale tu compasión sobre el dolor, sobre el amor, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Orégame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the sands of compassion. Blow in the wind, in the tides, in the sea. Move in the hand, gifting light, shape of justice. Roots hold me hold, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our first reading this morning comes from the UU minister, the Reverend Meg Barnhouse, and pokes fun at Unitarian Universalists with some gentle humor. The worship planning group at Honey Springs Unitarian Universalist Congregation, a mythical UU congregation where things are the way they are, only more so, was seated around the table in classroom 6 discussing the upcoming Easter intergenerational service. It's in the name, a tall woman dressed in gauzy green layers was saying. Easter is from Estra or Ostara, the Saxon goddess of spring. In ancient Greece, she was called Astarte. In Assyria, she was called Ishtar. Easter, Ishtar, it's the same word. Easter is about Jesus, people. A slender young man leaned both his forearms on the table. Why is it so hard just to talk about Jesus? Is Honey Springs going to be like that joke where the only time the name of Jesus is uttered in church is when the minister stubs his toe? Let's just have a flower communion, a blue-eyed man in his 70s said, spreading open his hands and smiling. Norbert Chopek invented it as a purely Unitarian ritual. Wondering if it was time for him to say something, the new minister, Reverend Cotton Lovingood, scrunched his toes against the cork bed of his Birkenstocks. He opened his mouth, but an elderly woman in the corner beat him to it. The Lengari people didn't have spring, but every time the river flooded, they made a nice stew of rabbit with a puree of mashed fire ants for a bit of zing. When Adrian and I were living with them, we used to watch them try to keep the little ants in the mortars long enough to get mashed. Everyone looked at her. Cotton couldn't remember what he'd been about to say. Easter is about resurrection, he began. Yes, new life, green shoots, bulbs. The resurrection of Jesus, a particular resurrection, said the young man. You don't really believe in that literally, do you? The blue-eyed man asked. Cotton held up his hand. Tell me what the resurrection of Jesus means to you, he asked the young man. Well, he was dead and now he's alive in our hearts. So love lives on? Cotton asked. We could give the children seeds, I suppose, the woman in green said. Life like love itself, unable to be destroyed. We're destroying life as we sit here, the man at the end of the table said. Do you know what the carbon footprint of this building is? Love itself, Cotton repeated. Yes, the young man said, and that is a perfect theme for an intergenerational Easter service. Isn't that what the flower communion is about too? The man at the end of the table said. We're all different, but we don't have to think alike to love alike. Cotton smiled. I would certainly say love is at the center for me. So you're a humanist like I am, the man said. I'm a humanist, you, and Jill is a pagan, you, Jim is a Christian, you, and Phoebe is an anthropologist. Cotton sighed. Listen, he said, I'm just a plain old middle-of-the-road Unitarian Universalist. I think the human spirit is magnificent, and science is a great way to think about the world. It has limitations, though, and I'm comfortable with the idea of mystery. The teachings of Rabbi Jesus are fine with me. I feel connected with nature, and I think humans live more richly when they have a sense of awe at the wonders that inhabit this planet and beyond. I also like to practice paying attention to my breathing and detaching from outcomes, but that doesn't make me a Buddhist. I'm you, which means I have access to all of that. Unitarian Universalism is a big tent with room enough for me to have the faith I've just laid out, and for you to have the faiths you've laid out too. And we can all just call ourselves Unitarian Universalists. So you want to do something about love's power to create new life? He continued meekly. That would be wonderful, everyone agreed. The members of the planning group managed to get over their surprise at the new minister's outburst, and they planned a nice mashup of Passover, Easter, flowers, love, diversity, and new life. Reverend Cotton went home and wrote patience on a sticky note and put it on the bathroom mirror. Then he thought about the kindness of the people, about their being at an evening meeting they hadn't been paid to come to, about their quickness to forgive his somewhat edgy description of his own faith, and he realized that wasn't the whole truth about the meeting. He took another sticky note and wrote, gratitude.
I am so grateful for this community. The First Unitarian Church of St. Louis strives to be a welcoming congregation, inspiring lives of loving kindness and integrity by nurturing spirituality, building community, and advancing justice. Your donations contribute to keeping that mission alive during the pandemic. We are not passing a physical plate, but there are many ways to donate, including by mail, online, or by text. These are uncertain times. Please give as you can. Now, please enjoy another parody song. I am the very model of a modern Unitarian, generously shared with us by the Orange Coast UU Church.
I am the very model of a modern Unitarian, far broader than a Catholic, Hindu, Jew, or Presbyterian. I know the world's religions and can trace their roots historical, from Moses up to Channing, all in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with theories theological. On existential questions I am always wholly logical. About most any problem I am teeming with a lot of views. I'm full of fine ideas that should fill our church's empty pews.
We're full of fine ideas that should fill our church's empty pews. We're full of fine ideas that should fill our church's empty pews. We're full of fine ideas that should fill our church's empty pews.
I quote from Freud and Jung and all the experts psychological. I'm anti-nuke, I don't pollute, I'm chastely ecological. In short, it matters spiritual, ethical, material. I am the very model of a modern Unitarian.
In short, it matters spiritual, ethical, material. We are the very model of a modern Unitarian.
I use the latest language, God is never Father or the Lord, but ground of being, source of life, or almost any other word. I never pray, I meditate, I'm leery about worshiping. I serve on 10 committees, none of which accomplish anything. I give to worthy causes and I drive a gas-conserving car. I have good UU principles, although I'm not sure what they are. I'm open to opinions of profound or broad variety, unless they're too conservative or smack of righteous piety.
Unless they're too conservative or smack of righteous piety. Unless they're too conservative or smack of righteous piety. Unless they're too conservative or smack of righteous piety.
I formulate agendas and discuss them with the best of them, but don't ask me to implement, we leave that to the rest of them. In short, it matters spiritual, ethical, material. I am the very model of today's religious liberal.
In short, it matters spiritual, ethical, material. We are the very model of today's religious liberal.
Our second reading this morning comes from UU congregant Betty Mills, quoted in the book A Chosen Faith by John Burens and Forrester Church. Who are these UUs standing around the coffee table on Sunday mornings, discussing last night's movie and next fall's election, reviewing the morning's sermon, designing tomorrow's education, storming over next century's oceans? They are joyful celebrants of the gift of life, mixing nonsense with the quest of the ages, turning secular need into concerted, concerned action, serving wine on the lawn and petitions in the foyer. And now, please enjoy the First Unitarian Players in a production of Zoom Room Home, set to the tune of Blue Boat Home, with gratitude to the Foothills Unitarian Church.
Oh, below me I feel my cushion. On my desktop are mountains and plains, far away from my friends and loved ones. Still I try to connect this way. Download another app now. How do I mute my microphone? Wide internet and my face will travel if I manage to Zoom from home. Beach or space, my virtual background. Keep from view what's really messy. Leaning closer, my eyes get blurry while I try not to spill my tea. Where's the Zoom link? I thought I saved it. I am late to my meeting again. Stuck in the waiting room, someone admit me soon to my beautiful Zoom room home. I give thanks to the sweats I'm wearing. Did you know your video's on? Meet my grandchildren, they are yelling. Let's hope we don't all get Zoom bombed. Bring your dog back, where's your fluffy cat? How long will this go on?
great web is my only travel, and this screen is my Zoom room.
I waited to watch that until it was all done. That was fantastic. Oh my goodness. You should, if Claire asked you to do a project, the answer should be yes. There I was, seated on the steps of the chancel, telling the story for all ages, with a group of children gathered around me, when one of them began asking me questions. What's on your legs? It's the same color as your legs. Why are you wearing that? And then, to my horror, began patting my legs, trying to figure out what I was wearing. This might have been easily ignored, except that having caught the attention of one child, the rest of the children were alerted and all began patting my legs, trying to figure out what strange semi-transparent material I had covering my legs. Trapped between trying to explain and yet continue with the story, I gave in to laughter and sent the children to their classes as the congregation erupted along with me. The mother of the first child came up to me afterwards and apologized profusely. I guess I'm just an old hippie. I don't even own pantyhose. Friends, I have not worn pantyhose since. Being able to laugh at ourselves is the first step in being able to let more humor and levity into our lives. Humor. We know we need it. It is a universal human feature. And when you laugh together, you create a bond that extends beyond just that single moment. Studies have shown that laughter releases endorphins into our bloodstream, and the deep breathing that comes from laughing increases blood flow to our brain, elevating our mood and boosts our health. Yet, studies have also shown we don't laugh enough. In the book Humor, Seriously, Stanford Business School professor Jennifer Aker and consultant Naomi Bagdonis call this the humor cliff. They explain, as kids, we laugh all the time. The average 4-year-old laughs as many as 300 times per day. The average 40-year-old, by comparison, laughs 300 times every 2.5 months. When we grow up, enter the workforce, we suddenly become serious and important people, trading laughter for ties and pantsuits. It's understandable, because in our professional lives, we have to navigate a maze of relationships and workplace dynamics. We aren't sure what others might find funny, and we don't want to inadvertently insult someone. So rather than risk humor, we avoid it. Yet Acker and Bagdonis point out, the freshest, most interesting comedy is not based on mother-in-law jokes or Jack Nicholson impressions, but on exposing our own personalities. Or in the case of today's service, our own culture. The most common way we do this is with self-directed humor. Ecker and Bagdonis call this sweetheart humor, humor that targets universal truths and seeks to find common ground rather than targeting others. This is literally the most UU form of humor there is. If our 7 principles are a set of promises about how we will behave, then our humor must be designed to respect the inherent worth and dignity of all. Thus, we have humor, H-U-U-M-O-R, the UU self-depreciating laugh that lets us know that as Unitarian Universalists, we have more in common than we may have realized, that we have indeed created a shared culture. Take the UU meme creator, the Reverend Jamie Yandel, who finds universal truths about being UU and turns them into hilarious memes. What's a meme, you ask? Here is a video to explain. Did you recognize yourself in any of those memes? I did. Co-founder of Pixar and president of Walt Disney Animation Studios, Ed Catmull says, "We all want meaning in our lives. And yet there are times when work and life get serious and hard, mundane and stressful. Having a sense of humor doesn't just punctuate and offset the seriousness. It allows the meaning to come through. Unexpected moments with coworkers, partners, families, and friends shake things up and keep you on your toes. They define the shape of relationships as much as the hard moments do. Playfulness and bonding with one another in the good times are of tremendous value during the times when things get more serious. In a world that is shaped by division and misunderstanding, during an era of pandemic, taking a moment to find those things that we don't need to take quite so seriously help us to be more compassionate with ourselves and with others. A chance to laugh at yourself means you're less likely to take another action quite as seriously when someone else has an accidental gaffe. In the moment when I was being bombarded with children asking questions about pantyhose, I could have been offended or upset. But their genuine curiosity highlighted a universal truth about my UU community. I guess we're just a bunch of old hippies. Being able to laugh at ourselves allows us to know that we have room for authentic connection and that our common humanity is what unites us more than any other quality. So friends, when you find a moment that you're taking life a little too seriously, when you find yourself feeling blue or even just in a rut, make some space for a little laughter. It might just do you good. Now please join in our closing hymn about all of the experiences of life. Number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need those friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give, we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us, and we feel a special flow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child, and we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found the time to be together. And with the grace of age, we share the wonder of youth. And we believe that growing is an answer.
Our closing words come from the Reverend Nancy Reed McKee. Our community knows no boundaries. We are not confined by the physical limits of walls, or for that matter, of what often binds us, restricts us, holds us back. We are freer than we know when we release ourselves and each other from expectations of what is needed for true community. We are here together in this space. I see you. I hear you. I love you. Go in peace. Amen and blessed be.